knowing that you're standing on a robust mineralized system, with over 1,500 meters of continuous vertical mineralization. I mean, you just feel it that you are in the right spot. So I just can't wait to get those drill rigs out and just get boots on the ground and actually sort of go beyond the historical data.
The Financial Survival Network. Now more than ever. The Financial Survival Network.
Welcome all. I'm Kerry Lutz, your host of Financial Survival Network. You're going to hear the latest sponsor update, Torq Resources, with Executive Chair Sean Wallace and Chief Geologist Michael Henrichsen. Just finished their first drill program, 13 holes at the Margarita project in Chile. So we want to get the latest update on that. First, Sean, you just closed your first tranche of a $4.5 million private placement. You're about to close the second one. Where is that going to leave the Treasury?
Well, the company will probably have about $5.5 million available to it for the next few months. And that'll certainly allow us to finish off our work at Margarita and get going, get a strong start here at Santa Cecilia.
Well, that's good news. And Michael, drilling at Margarita, like we said, just finished your maiden program, never been drilled before. I'm sure you are super excited to see what you might have there, and you're just awaiting results now, assay results. We haven't talked about it much. What are your thoughts?
Well, obviously excited to get the assays back. We're looking at the lab turnarounds aren't too bad in Chile, around 6 weeks or so. So we hope that continues. Obviously, as the results come in, we'll be putting out the news. But certainly from our perspective, it's good to get that first pass across all of the targets that we had. And, from our perspective, it's just a question of waiting on the results now, at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, waiting is the hardest part. Santa Cecilia, where are we there?
Yeah, well, we're currently working on our community engagement program. And if you recall, we only acquired that project in really November, late October. And so, we've been engaging with the communities. As you know, community initiatives are as important as anything else we do with our company, and including the technical work and the financial work. And so the ESG work, and making certain that we can craft a relationship with the local community that's going to endure time, and it considers all the different interactions that we're going to have with them. It's not a small task. Fortunately for us, we're with the proximity to Caspice and Santa Cecilia, this is communities that are no strangers to making these type of agreements. And Michael and I have been having with our team in Chile a very, very productive discourse, and we anticipate having that all sort of sorted out here by the end of the month-ish.
I know with these things, you never know when it's going to happen. But Sean, as far as recent movement in copper, gold, and near record prices, you got to be more upbeat even than you were before.
Certainly. I mean, some of the latest metal movement, I think, is reactionary to some of the political events in the world. However, the thing, and that can go away quickly. So I try not to grip onto those factors too much. However, what's abundantly clear is that the demand for copper is going to continue to overwhelm the supply of copper. Gold, I think, is going to continue to be very strong. So absolutely, in terms of what could cause a person anxiety, metal prices are not something that would create any anxiety right now.
Yeah, at least that's a positive, and hopefully the share price will reflect it shortly.
Yeah, I mean, what you're seeing in the market right now, you're starting to see some good movement on the majors and the mid-tiers. And if you've been a student of the sort of junior markets, that's sort of the progression that things have to happen in. People, generalists and type investors, they to understand what a junior is doing, it's actually quite complex and to feel comfortable with. So people tend to buy the majors. And then when they sort of exhaust their big runs up, because they have a direct correlation to metal prices, unlike us, we don't sell gold today. It just creates an environment for us to thrive in. It's actually fundamental to those major mining companies. So it's actually logical that the capital flows the way it does.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to see the logic of the market, but I guess when you look back after a period of time, it makes a lot more sense. Michael, when we talked last time, you were really excited about these two projects. I assume you're more so now that you've actually gotten drills in the ground?
Oh, no question. I mean, our thesis was pretty simple. There was a pile of copper oxide on the Margarita project, and we're looking for copper sulfide. So, again, the lab results are coming. We got to wait. Everybody's got to play that waiting game with the lab. But we're thankful that it's at least semi-reasonable at about 6 weeks. And from the perspective of Santa Cecilia, I mean, we're just very keen to get our boots on the ground there. Once we've secured our community agreement, which, as Sean has said, should be, hopefully towards the end of the month here. We have some work to do. We have a lot of targets to develop. We have a lot of things to progress to drill stage. There's no shortage of amazing targets on Santa Cecilia, and obviously, as we watch the metal prices and such, with the historical intercepts that are already there, we feel pretty good about what we've got, but we think it's going to get better. And that's where the drill, our first drill program at Santa Cecilia will lead us. We hope to even more robust intersections.
And Sean, with prices going up, do you see more projects, more opportunities coming down the pike for Torq?
I mean, from a practical sense, and you always got to be realistic about what your organization can take on. I think with what we have in our portfolio right now, it would take a very exceptional opportunity for us to allow ourselves to be distracted to make another acquisition right now. But I can tell you, because getting active and being in Chile, we're starting a bit of a buzz. People are coming and bringing us things. So we're continuing to review things. But, for many years, there was a front burner activity on the acquisition trail. Now that we've sort of filled up our hopper with great projects, that's less our focus. And obviously now we have to focus on trying to wring out the value from these particular opportunities. That's not to be say that we turned a blind eye to something that might be exceptional. So I'll leave it at that. It would have to be Santa Cecilia or Margarita or better for us to really want to distract ourselves from what we've currently got in front of us.
Hey, and Michael, you mentioned the last time we spoke, you went up there and you looked around and you just said, wow, this is it.
I still feel entirely that way, Kerry. As I said, when you go there and you just see the proximity to, 50 million ounces and 13 billion pounds of copper, and knowing that you're standing on a robust mineralized system, with over 1,500 meters of continuous vertical mineralization. I mean, you just feel it that you are in the right spot. So I just can't wait to get those drill rigs out and just get boots on the ground and actually sort of go beyond the historical data. As we start telling our story about what we're learning, I think there's going to be it's just going to be better than the starting point. That's my initial impression based on everything I've seen going through all the historical data to date.
Right. And Sean, this project was just basically sitting there for decades, ignored, and you got the edge on it, and you got it.
We did. It was a grand effort of many, many people, and we had to use strategy and patience and just goodwill. And frankly, it wouldn't have happened without our Chilean team, who really got everything over the line for us here, and they continue to perform at a level that's just it's outstanding. It's outstanding.
And have things pretty much returned to, hesitate to use the word normal in South America, in Chile, as far as getting through the process, getting permits and everything else?
Yeah. No, the process has continued throughout all this. And it is what it is. But the good news is there is a process. I've gone into jurisdictions where there is no process, and then I'm much more comfortable being part of some sort of process than having to invent one or negotiate one or try and create one.
Yeah, well, it makes life easier when you have it. And the political situation, we feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, I mean, there was an election earlier this year. There was some concern, perhaps, that the incoming party were going to pull things to the left. We haven't seen any evidence of that at all. Our people on the ground in Chile are very tuned in to sort of how any of that might affect our industry, and they seem very, very comfortable with how things are going. And that, I think one thing that we might have to accept, and I think it's not just this jurisdiction, but every jurisdiction, when you're in an environment of inflated metal prices, inflationary environment in general, and so obviously taxation, usually some sort of enrichment to the government is going to be asked of companies. And I think that's going to be not specific to Chile or anywhere. It's just going to be everywhere, would be my estimation.
Yeah, costs and taxes likely to rise around the globe, and this is no exception. So, Michael, as far as the next drill plan for what we're talking about for Margarita, what do you see?
Well, obviously, Kerry, you got to get your results in and interpret them and such. But, we would be hopeful that we get another drill program in here in the coming months. But again, we have no certainty of that. Obviously, we need the results to come in, and we need a chance to digest them. That's for certain. But, look, we would be optimistic that something is going to happen in the coming months. But again, I don't have any clear guidance right now until the lab results come in. That's what we look forward to.
All right. Well, your crystal ball is a little cloudy at this point, but it's clearing up quickly. Sean, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, well, no, I think it's just important. There's a lot going to be happening over the next 8-12 months here for Torq. We're going to, find out how our first campaign in Margarita went, and that'll either generate another program, and I think it will. It looks pretty. We really like the project. We're going to get going in earnest on Santa Cecilia, so I think that's going to be a very exciting time when we, really give a good shot at that opportunity. And then, Andrea project is also, I don't want to forget all about it. Although it's not it's sort of the third one in the pecking order, if you will. But I'm still very positive. We acquired it for a reason, and we were going to go make certain, that the assumptions we made when we did that are correct.
All right. Anything else you have to add about Andrea, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to our team in Chile and their experience. I mean, they want to hunt for porphyries in a place that's got some of the biggest epithermal deposits in the world. So we know there's a huge amount of metal endowment. And we know there's porphyries that are mineralized on the project. So, I mean, clearly we got to get the drill rigs out. We are doing our work right now, our surface work, and just familiarizing ourselves and getting, to the point of like real drill targeting. So, that will come out, and we'll daylight that to our investors here in the coming months. But, I'm with Sean. We acquired it for a reason, and we plan to advance, no doubt.
All right. Well, this is what we look for in an explorer. Clearly, you've got everything going. 3 projects, all looking highly positive. You should go over right now to torqresources.com. Sign up to get notifications so you get the latest news, and it's going to start coming fast and furious. The ticker symbols in Canada, TORQ, and in the U.S., TRBMF. Sean, Michael, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Kerry.
Thank you, Kerry.
The Financial Survival Network.